Namaste. Thank you for joining me and practicing yoga. As a reminder, at the beginning of our fresh week, Namaste truly means that the divinity, the light inside of me, recognizes that same divinity in you and in all living creatures. I believe more commonly it's used as a greeting in India, our motherland of yoga. But I like how Americans have made it more of a reverent goodbye at yoga, at the end of yoga practice. All right, Monday, so we'll get grounded for the week ahead of us. From your comfortable seat, sit tall. Bring your hands together in heart center. Gently pressing the hands together. As you do that, gently relax your shoulders down. Little micro lift as the heart comes to meet the thumbs. Sit tall in this way, maybe closing your eyes if that's comfortable to you. And if you'd like to set an intention for today's practice, perhaps for the week ahead of us, you can allow an intention to crystallize in your mind's eye. And then if you'd like, we'll chant one long round of Om. Sometimes it's fun to envision your intention being sent out into the world. So inhale deeply for Om. Release your hands down and make your way onto your spine. Ardha Shavasana. So our feet stay planted, knees bent, spine reclines onto the mat. We'll be here for just a few minutes, so settle yourself in comfortably. Hands palm up to the sky on either side of you. Notice the parts of your body connected to the mat, starting with your feet. Plant your feet, bring some awareness into the four corners of the feet. Toes are light on the mat, the four corners point or drop down. And then notice the base of your spine, base of your tailbone, your sacrum, planted on the ground. And then you might notice a little rise in the spine, and then the spine lands back on the mat in the mid-spine region. Notice your shoulders. Relax into the mat. Noticing the backs of your arms, backs of your hands, the back of your head. Feel a sense of connection to the ground below. Bringing our attention to the stability of this connectedness. Really focus on the base of your spine and the soles of your feet. Base chakra, Muladhara chakra, connected with a sense of stability and safety. When we feel grounded, we may feel steady, safe to explore our practice, safe to explore our inner landscape. Eckhart Tolle teaches us to be at least as interested in what goes on inside as outside. And if we get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. So be curious about your internal experience. Maybe you notice you feel really comfortable and connected here, Or maybe you feel irritable, ready to move. That's all okay. Trust that all time spent on the mat is valuable. Keep your feet planted a comfortable distance away from your hips. And on an inhale, press your feet into the earth while you lift your hips. So coming into a wider bridge pose. And with your next exhale, lower your hips back down. Keep your knees and thighs in alignment with your hips. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower down. Press the backs of your hands, backs of your arms into the mat as you inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. Continue in this way, dynamically inhaling up and exhaling down. Your chin stays lifted to the sky, not tucked to the chest. A few more cycles of breath. And then stillness. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Extend your right leg long, pointing and flexing your toe. Now bend your right knee and re-extend the right leg. Breathing as you move at least 5 times of this pumping action. Nice dynamic hamstring stretch. Getting the blood flowing through this lower part of the body. Of course, the blood is always flowing through all parts of our body, but bringing some intentional movement will certainly increase blood flow to the tissues here. Re-extend your right leg. Flex your foot and ankle so the heel is reaching towards the sky. One more breath here. Exhale, release your right foot to the mat. Bring the left leg in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. Extend the left leg long, pointing and flexing the toe. Now bend your left knee and extend your left leg. You can keep the foot and ankle somewhere between flexed and pointed here. A few more times. You can even feel your hamstring stretching with your hands interlaced on the back of your thigh. Re-extend your left leg long. Flex the foot and ankle. Heel reaches towards the sky. Breathe here. Replace your left foot on the mat. If you'd like to hold a still supported bridge pose, you can grab one of your blocks and slide it under your sacrum. Otherwise, I'll cue us to go ahead and walk our shoulders under our back, finding bridge pose, Setubandha Sharvangasana. You can interlace your hands under your back if that works for you. Maybe you keep your hands planted on the mat. Keep lifting your hips, press your feet into the earth, press the back of your head into the earth. You can stay here or extend your right leg long, pointing the toes to the sky. You can stay here or maybe take 5 dips with me, dropping your hips down and lifting up. 3 more. Set your right foot back down on the mat. Lift your left leg, extend the left leg to the sky. Staying here or 5 dips. Breathing as you go. After your 5th time, drop your left foot back to the mat. Walk your shoulders out. Walk your feet as wide as the edges of the mat as your spine relaxes on the mat, knees falling together. Notice where you feel sensation in the body. And as you're ready, we'll make our way into tabletop. So maybe you roll onto one side, or maybe you can bring your legs in towards your chest and rock yourself up. Making your way over into tabletop. Pass through cow and cat a few times, giving a little love to the spine after those morning back bends. When you arch your back into cat pose, really imagine pushing the ground away, shoulder blades sliding apart. Tuck your toes. Inhale and exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Our first one together this week. Take your time settling in, let it feel good. Keep in mind that we can always generously bend our knees, lifting the heels off of the mat, sending the hips high as we push the ground away. Scoop the belly in. Allow your head and neck to relax, looking back between your legs. On an inhale, look forward between your hands, and exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. You might take a really wide base here, taking your feet out wide as you fold forward, hanging heavy. You can clasp opposite elbows if you like that. Breathe here in Uttanasana, forward fold. You might say to yourself, I'm connected to the ground. I am supported. I am steady. I am grounded. Release your hands to the mat. Feet come hips distance apart. On an inhale, we'll rise up and go right into Utkatasana, chair pose. Sitting back into chair. If you glance down, you can see your toes. Pick them up and wiggle them. Core really engaged, tailbone anchored down, heart lifted as best you can while keeping all of that alignment. Arms alongside your ears, really active through the arms, fingertips reaching to the sky. One more inhale here. Exhale, stand into Tadasana, mountain pose. Rock forwards and backwards in mountain pose, just bringing some awareness into our feet. And then settle into a point that feels still and steady for you. Navel drawing back towards the spine and up towards the heart, shoulders rolling back and down. On an inhale, arms reach up alongside your ears. Exhale, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Breathe deeply. See if you can sit a little lower, lift your heart a little more. Inhale. Exhale your hands down to the mat or blocks and step yourself right back into downward facing dog again. From downward facing dog, inhale your right heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee. Go ahead and open that hip to the sky, lifting the right knee to the sky. If you look forward between your shoulders, that'll help you keep your shoulders square. So dropping your right shoulder down. Re-extend your right leg, neutralizing your hips back to level. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, draw the right knee towards the nose, hover. push the ground away, and then step or swing the right foot to the top of the mat, whatever it takes to get there. Runner's lunge here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Step your left foot down, 45-degree angle, setting up for warrior one. On an inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. This is where I do always like to bring my hands to my hips, checking that they're relatively squared, so guiding the left hip forward, right hip back, and then rebend into the front leg. Really anchor into the pinky side edge of your left foot. Arms reaching up towards the sky. Imagine you're lifting your torso up out of your hips. One more breath here. With an exhale, open out wide into goddess pose, bending the knees. Glance down, knees are going the same direction as your toes. Anchor your tailbone. Your goddess might be more lifted, or maybe she's lower, whichever works for you. More important that we have our knees and toes in alignment and our tailbone anchored down than that we're really low in the pose. Go ahead and bring your arms out like these cactuses. See if you can tip your elbows forward and wrists back in space a little bit. Breathe here. Doing that action kind of hugs your shoulder blades onto your rib cage. Light on the toes. One more breath. Now cartwheel your hands back to the front of the mat. Runner's lunge. Inhaling. Exhaling. Drop your left knee, walk your hands, maybe using your blocks, back, finding reverse lunge. Toes stay connected to the mat at first, stretching the top of our ankle, top of our foot. Breathe here. Shift your right hip back in space slightly, engage your core to lengthen your spine. All right, right toes come to point towards the earth as we traction our right hip back in space even more. Breathe as you bend your right leg, walk your hands forward. Inhale deeply and exhale, straighten both legs, coming into a really wide pyramid pose. Lengthen the spine, looking down so that the back of the neck is long. Right outer hip is wrapping around the back, left outer hip is shifting forward. Both legs are really actively engaged. One more breath here. And exhale, step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, chair pose. Breathe here. And after about 3 breaths with an exhale, we'll stand right into Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sit back into chair. Exhale, fold forward, step yourself back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, left heel reaches to the sky, 3-legged dog. Trying to keep the shoulders squared and level, bend the left knee, lift it towards the sky. Go ahead and open up that left hip, 3-legged dog. Return your hips to neutral, re-extend the left leg long. Inhale, looking forward between your hands, and exhale, knee to nose, hover, push the ground away. Then step your left foot forward, whatever it takes to get there. Pause in this high runner's lunge. Press back through your right heel, long active leg. On an inhale, rise up, set yourself into Virabhadrasana 1. So our right foot is planted on the ground, the pinky side edge is really connected. Hips are squared, so left hip back, right hip forward, tailbone down, long spine, arms reaching up. Can you relax anything that you're holding? So sometimes without meaning to, we might be clenching our jaw, furrowing our brow. Inhale deeply, open up to goddess pose the other direction. Bending your knees down, anchoring your tailbone. Glancing down, our knees and our toes are going in the same direction. Arms are out, elbows slightly coming forward, wrists slightly back in space. Breathe here. Keep the connection in your feet to the mat. Pressing into the four corners of our feet. One more big breath. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, returning to high lunge. Lots of energy into that back leg. Inhale deeply. With your exhale, drop your right knee, walk your hands back in space, reverse lunge, left foot planted to start. Stretching the top of the left foot. One instance where we definitely press our toes into the mat. Maximize that stretch and breathe. Let the left toes lift towards the sky, tractioning the left hip back in space. Keep lengthening your spine. Bend into your left knee as you walk your hands forward, tucking your right toes. Lift the right knee off of the mat. One more nice runner's lunge here as we breathe. Inhale deeply. Exhale, step yourself forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. On an inhale, root down to rise all the way up, arms out and up. Exhale your hands to heart center. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Hands touch down. Step yourself back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Push the ground away in plank. You can always lower your knees for half plank if you prefer. One more breath here. Gentle bend in the knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Step your left foot to the top of the mat with an exhale. Back in our runner's lunge. Now, slightly tricky cue here, so you might watch me first. We're going to bring our right knee to the outside of our left foot, sitting our hips down, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So we're in this bit of a twist. Of course, do the best you can. You might pick up and move your belly for those of us who can. I don't think Emily has too much luxury there. Sit really tall. Left hand comes back behind you. Inhale your right arm up to the sky. Exhale, hook the right arm over the left leg. Start to look over your left shoulder as you keep lengthening your spine. Notice the parts of your body connected to the ground. Can we bring a little bit more anchoring into those parts? Great pose to close your eyes in if that's comfortable to you. Be at least as interested in what goes on inside you as what happens outside. If you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. With an inhale, unwind, rock yourself forward and step yourself back to downward facing dog. Right away, we'll look forward. Inhale. Exhale, step our right foot to the top of the mat, runner's lunge. Preparing for Ardha Matsyendrasana on the other side. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, left knee to the outer edge of the right foot, setting our hips down, coming right into our little seated twist. Right hand back behind you. Inhale the left hand up to the sky. Exhale, twist to the right. Moving or negotiating with your core space to allow you to settle in. Allow your right hip to really anchor, drop down. One more breath here. Exhale, unwind back to neutral. Plant both of your feet. If you'd like to do supported bridge, go ahead and bring your block with you as we make our way all the way back down onto our spine. So option to rest here, Ardha Shavasana, half Shavasana with the feet planted, knees to the sky, spine on the mat. Or if you'd like supported bridge pose, we'll go ahead and press our feet into the mat, sliding the block under our sacrum. You might walk your spine extra long here, walk your upper arms under your back. Palms can flip towards the sky. We're still pressing our upper body, our upper arms, into the mat, the back of the head into the mat, the feet into the mat. Still have a sense of some activity in this supported bridge. Notice your weight on the block if you're taking this option. Enjoy that feeling of being completely supported by the block, by the earth. Whenever you're ready, you can scoot the block out from under your hips. Extend your legs long and find yourself into Shavasana. Allow yourself this moment of letting go. You can imagine that you're soaking up that grounding earth energy. I am safe. I am connected. I am right here, right now. Deepen your breath. Invite movement back into your body. As you're ready, return yourself to a comfortable seated posture. Of course, you can always choose to linger in Shavasana. But we'll go ahead and close today's 30-minute practice with one long Om, sending our vibration out into the universe. Inhale deeply. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.